All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I'm gonna start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash.
Double honor to the apostle, elders, great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yes, bars all.
Karatazah.
Yeah, and we just want to do a lesson on news and basically current events. The events that's current, are a lot of prophecies are being put in media, through these different situations that's taking place. We're seeing things taking place domestically, foreign, in your state, your county, your region, and it's all pointing towards the prophecies of the Bible, and we actually got this site queued up. We're going to go through a few articles, probably just go through the title of these articles and expound on them, because it's a lot of war talks that's being taking place. It's a lot of sicknesses that's basically dormant in the earth that's looking to be activated. It's basically a breakthrough of sicknesses, and these different disease experts and these individuals that work in that field of work, they are speaking about the devastation rate that will happen if this these outbreaks rear their ugly head. And it's even spiritual because Will Smith is going to come out with another I Am Legend.
Yeah.
With it's allegedly he's going to have Michael B. Jordan. I don't know if he confirmed it or not. It's possibly already confirmed that it's supposed to be him and Michael B. Jordan, but nonetheless, the point that I want to make is, that's spiritual. The Lord is really showing the words of this book is relevant and true. Hey, in the spirit, it might come out with another book of Eli, because we in those times too. Those apocalyptic times. Where the spirit is really showing that it's resting upon the bosom, or resting in the minds of certain men. To actually go into this word and teach this word, and like it says, rightly dividing the word of truth. And showing that we are in biblical times. We're in war times. You had Henry Kissinger said that years ago. I could probably find the date, which I'm not gonna get, but the quote, he said, if you don't hear the drums of war beating, then you're deaf.
Yeah, you're deaf.
And the drums of war are beating heavier than ever. Scripture says that we're nearer than when we believe.
Yeah.
We're literally in a war right now. Right now, as we speak, as we're in our living rooms or bedrooms, typing on your computer, or you know what I'm saying? As we speak, bombs are dropping.
Yeah.
Moves
are being made.
Buildings are shattering. Troops are getting stockpiled ammunition, funds. Ships are being pushed in certain directions.
Yeah.
To fuel. All your money is being allocated towards war, man. As we're speaking right now, tanks is being shot off.
Yeah.
Bodies is dropping. People are being zipped up in bags and brought from one side.
Yeah.
These things are taking place right now as we speak.
That's right.
You see? So we're going to go into a few of these articles. And matter of fact, if you could read a little bit on that Jeremiah.
Okay. Could I read a couple of verses up just to back up what you were just saying as a spirit, because I had this queued up already. But it's in the same chapter, Jeremiah 50 and verse 22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction.
You going to it?
So like the Deacon Barzal was mentioning, that sound, that trumpet, is being blown, man. Which the trumpet represents what? Sound of destruction, warning, plagues, and ultimately, the missiles, man. Yep. You see, so that sound, is in the land. All right. And it says, and of great destruction. So along with that sound comes what? Destruction, man. So America isn't, going towards a better society, as it, so-called once was, because it's the end of this place, man. All these things taking place, with America and Russia and Ukraine, and all these other countries, and on top of that, of what's going on actually in America. Oh, for instance, here in Georgia, it's damn near 80 degrees, But if you go to California, it's in the mid 40s.
Mm-hmm.
We see that, so that's a sign of the end of the times, man.
Yep.
You know.
And the scripture says to measure the time diligently in itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we're basically just, when we do these lessons or these spiritual epistles, you know, we're just putting gauges. You know, putting gauges on a timeline, and then linking it with biblical prophecy to show exactly what times that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
So you could jump to
30. When we start 35. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 35.
which is Jeremiah 50 is see, Jeremiah, when Jeremiah was writing the prophecies, you know, and going through this, he was speaking about ancient Babylon, but this is even more relevant now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we're speak about nations surrounding and compassing Babylon, which we're gonna get. You said you had 35, right?
Yeah, you want to start 35? Or you want to start up some more?
Matter of fact, since I just spoke on that, can you go to 29 and then jump to 35?
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 29. It says, "Call together the archers against Babylon."
Yep.
Oh,
What's the modern day archer? You know, individuals that actually have nuclear capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you go into ancient war, archers can make the decision of a battle, man. You got you a good arching unit. You know, if you have to, you know, you have a fortified castle and you have enemies actually approaching your land, and you got some archers that can take away the first line, the second line, third line, or whatnot. The accuracy and the precision of that archers, man, that's very important.
Yeah.
So in today's time, the modern day archers are the ones that have the nuclear capabilities to fight, you know, to defend their regions, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it says to call together the archers. So you have these different nations that's coming together.
Yep.
They're gathering together militarily. They're trading actually weaponry, enhancing their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with their enhanced weapons, they're actually, like I said, doing trades even with those enhanced weapons to their allied nations, so that they could take over enemy nations.
Yep.
You see, and everybody's seeing in the news that China and Russia is pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
You know, they gridlocked. So America, who can America actually team up with that can be a
Force.
a superpower, like, because those are really the main three superpowers.
Right.
You know, China is really the only three.
Yeah.
When it comes to the super top tier nations, it's China, Russia, and the United States of America. And China's made their decision, you know. And then you have Korea that's speaking about pushing the button. Oh, what did North Korea's the sister of Kim Jong-un, she made a statement.
Oh yeah, this was recently too.
Mm-hmm. War threats, basically.
Yeah.
War threats aimed at the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up, but you could go ahead. You could keep on that.
Okay, it says, "All ye that bend the bow camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape."
Yeah, here it is. Example of the bent in the bow. Kim's sisters makes shooting range threat as North Korea tests more missiles. That's the bow. Read that over.
Jeremiah 50 and 29. "Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape."
So yeah, these individuals that could bend the bow, and they're doing these tests. For example, you speak about the first missile in this article I have. The first missile flew about 400 kilometers. That's the example of bending the bow. Because you bend the bow to shoot it, of course, to see the range.
Yeah, the range, the distance.
The range, the distance, the altitude. See? At maximum altitude of about 100 kilometers, 62 miles. The ministry said in the statement, while the second was fired about 10 minutes later at a maximum altitude of around 50 kilometers, flying about 350 kilometers. North Korea acknowledged Monday's launch, calling it a super large multiple rocket launcher exercise, which is a means of tactical nuclear attack. You see? So they're doing these drills and they're getting their bow perfected. And they're not doing these things just to have just in case. The Lord is going to force the hand of these different. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
The Lord is going to force the hand on these nations to actually have to use that, and they a lot of them nations know that their hands is going to get forced. You know, that's why they're not second guessing a nuclear conflict. We just read an article on the site where it says Putin pretty much broke the peace treaty as far as or he backed out of it. I don't want to say broke, but he's basically in a energy like, if it comes to a nuclear decision, I will make the decision of responding nuclear with nuclear.
Yep.
You see? So you can go ahead.
Okay.
Are you gonna bring it out?
I was just gonna go to the article real quick. This it right here, as you can see it. It's from shtfplan.com, and it says Putin suspends nuclear treaty and puts missiles on combat duty. You know, so it says in a speech on Tuesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that he is suspending Russia's participation in the New START nuclear treaty with the United States. You see, so this is all geared towards World War III, you know, which is spoken of in the scriptures, man. Specifically, Revelation, the 9th chapter, man. You know, about the third woe coming quickly. All right, so this is what.
Oh, and also,
like you got it.
go ahead.
You got it. That was it.
I was gonna say, also these different nations, what they're doing, going back to even that precept about nations coming together. And I'm reading this article. They got joint exercises, so they're showing, all right, this is how we're gonna work in cohesion with each other. Japan troops, you know, get with the Russian troops. They'll be able to, you know what I'm saying, work in that network.
Yeah.
You know, they got individuals that have to learn, you know, they know how to speak Japanese. That's in the Russian military. Individuals in Japan that know how to speak Russian. You know, you get certain benefits that, you know, and it's depending on the rank that you are. You know, a lot of them are required to, you know what I'm saying, have that type of relationship with those different generals in those different foreign lands, and they have ambassadors. They have these different talks to make sure that they're really in good, close-knit relationships.
Yeah.
You see? So if something were to take place, they have the ability and the manpower to defend their own. Because they see that America is really the protagonist, or the antagonist, excuse me. America antagonizes these different nations, man.
Yeah.
And they don't want to actually say that we, you know, they like to throw the rock and hide their hand. That's part of the witchcraft, man. And they always want to put it in media like, oh, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, we're not doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. So we have to respond. But these nations aren't retarded, man.
Right. Oh, the scriptures also say that let the weak say that I am strong. You see, because even from how America was formed, NATO, you know, it was that the things that they were doing then they can't do now because these other nations have gained, like we going into nuclear weaponry. They've gained military power. You know, they came a long way from where they started at, so they really don't need America no more. So America is learning that they can't act the same way that they used to when NATO was formed. But in order to still have dominance, they still have to do certain things. That's why you said, oh, they try to throw the rock and they hide the hand. Because if not, then these countries, these different countries, even these smaller countries, will jump all over America, man. You know, but you got it.
You can keep on Jeremiah.
Okay. Jeremiah chapter 50 in verse, I'll continue in verse 29. It says, let none thereof escape, recompense her according to her work.
Yeah, pay her back. You about to say something? Yeah, so pay America back according to the works. And they seen that the works that America has brought into these lands was all fraudulent. You know, a lot of this, you know, of course, the food supply here in America is poisoned and tainted. And see, Esau's such a devil that they'll, you know, put these different markets within these other nations, you know, and then now they try to keep them addicted to their product, and then they impose sanctions on them, you know. So Russia, as well as China and these different nations that get these sanctions imposed upon them, they get into the point like, well, F your product.
Yeah.
We'll do, you know what I'm saying, we'll do good without you. Right. We don't need America. Now, it might be other nations that might need America, to keep their, which that's part of the prophecy too in Daniel with the 10 toes. Some were strong and some were weak, But those weak nations, they're getting to a certain point where it's just like, all right, America is exhausting our resources and making it too hard for us to actually function as a little, a smaller country. Their militaries are only so big in these different other regions, man. And they don't want a full scale war with Russia. They don't want a full scale war with China.
Yeah.
And that goes for the leaders all the way onto the people. Those people are in a terrified position. That's why I seen an article in UK, and a lot of those people are actually mad at the UK officials, and they're blaming them for the war in Russia and Ukraine. I'm talking about they're blaming America. A lot of the people in that region, they're not, like I said, they're not retarded over there, man. They know how to put two and two together. You got, like us, we're spiritual analysts. We put everything in the spirit, but you have individuals that analyze too. In the UK and in these different areas, they look at the track record of these different nations. They see how they respond, how they react, in a case by case basis, and they're seeing like, oh man, they kind of did force Russia's hand. You see what I'm saying? To go to war. Because they baited them. It's baiting out.
Yeah.
Like if I'm antagonizing you and you punch me in my shit, how much you can say, oh yeah, he responded, why he hit so and so, but then the balance of it is like, damn, but yeah, he did antagonize him. He did put him in that position to punch him in his shit.
Right, man. Just laying back off what America has done, they basically seen, they seen two people fighting, and then wanted to help out the other when that's something that don't even have nothing to do with you. The scriptures say, meddle not in affairs that concern thee not, roughly paraphrase. So that's another reason why, these people are blaming America, for what's happening in Ukraine because of how much money we done lost count of it now, how the billions or trillions of dollars that was sent over to Ukraine from America, man. You got.
And these countries, they know what's at stake. That's why Russia wasn't willing to just give up Ukraine, because Ukraine was looking to side with America.
Right.
And they don't have the ability to just choose. They don't have the option to get away.
Right.
They went to war with these different countries together. So for them to actually switch sides, they're looking at that as a form of betrayal.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're just gonna consume your country, because you're giving yourself over to the beast in so many words. So we're gonna actually take it upon ourselves to like I just said, take over you. And now America's responding, which is gonna put in the spirit of all these other nations to respond, man.
That's right.
WW3, you got it.
It says, for she hath been proud against the Lord Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. Skipping down to verse 35, same chapter. It says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon.
We just read about the missiles, and it's not even only going to be the missiles. You're going to have a pestilence, another sickness outbreak, and a lot of people, they're still trying to recover from the first one.
Right.
A lot of people post 19, it destroyed a lot of areas, man. Now you might not be feeling the direct effects of it, but that doesn't mean the next person isn't.
Right.
That doesn't mean the next town isn't. That doesn't mean the next city isn't.
Yeah.
It brought certain cities and areas back years, man. So now they got to play catch up, but let another outbreak happen, which that's being reported, man.
Yeah.
So the scripture says the sword is upon the Chaldeans, man. The Lord controls all elements. He can control fungus. So that's the power of the Most High.
That's right.
He could bring a fungus to just decimate. He could bring a virus that might take 20, 30 years to actually figure out how to to control it into a land.
We were just speaking about, prior to us cutting on the lesson, about the oil spills in Ohio. Even though things that may have not taken effect as of right now, you can start seeing years down the line certain vegetation isn't growing correctly. Because air quality plays important in agriculture too. So just because you don't see it, most things don't take effect right away anyway.
Down the line.
Yeah, it's down the line.
And that's why the Lord is, through the Spirit, we see it's all surgical strikes. Things are being hit up to the point where America basically has to force, they're getting their hands forced. As well as these other nations. They're getting their hands forced, man.
Yeah.
You have that sound like I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So you have to proceed. You have these different procedures that's taking place. That's why I spoke about those drills and these different exercises. So when things pop off, they already beefed up and they know how to operate.
Right.
Who's putting the spirit on these nations to do that? To get ready militarily. It tells you that in the book of Joel how the Lord is basically waking up the mighty man. He's getting them. When you're woke, you're fully aware.
Gathering the truth.
Gathering the truth. And if you were to do a poll, which we're not going to do, which we don't have the ability to do, but if you were to do a poll with the military men in these different nations, you spoke Korean, you spoke Japanese, and you would go around and you would ask them, do you feel like we're in war times and we're going to be closer to, we're almost in World War III? Majority of them will tell you yes. And that's from all, from the bottom soldiers all the way to the top generals and commanders, man. A lot of them are in the mindset, first and foremost, they feel it's war, and they're exercising like they're finna enter into a third world war. But their whole get up is we're here. We're close. So if these different nations make, like Putin is he's drawing a line in the sand. If these different nations actually approach like it's war, then it's war. They're not shying away from the topic. They're not, That's why you have president. You got men that's set up to when it's time to get down. Hey, if our country has to go to war, if we have to lose infrastructure, if we have to lose lives to save this country, if it has to be a thermonuclear conflict that's gonna have to blow these different parts of the city and different parts of this country apart, and if it takes that, I'm willing to make that decision as the president or the whatever ambassador, prime minister of that country and region. They're willing to take it that far. And it tells you in Proverbs the 21st chapter how the Lord has us. Basically, got the spirit on those kings, man. And it's all about the right event, what they call like a black swan event. The right ingredient to just make it all explode. That's powerful, man. So the Lord has that dropping pin, that one little thread that could just shift the whole motion. But it's all about the exact same time.
Timing.
The perfect time. The right time to you know what I'm saying? But you got it.
It says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed.
So the sword is being sharpened. Scripture speak about there's going to be a sword slaughter. And a lot of individuals are in fear, even in the military and things of that nature.
Oh, when you become fearful, you start making irrational moves. So you gonna start doing things that, like we always say, Esau just gonna be like, fuck it, hit the red button. Because they fear of losing their power. They know that Yahweh Shah is returning. So the power. Because even here, I think you go into that word dote here, because it means foolish. So it says the sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. So they shall become foolish because of how the Lord is arranging the war. And
it's crazy the Lord put the spirit on Esau, put him in an ultimate trick bag. See, he got these different nations in a trick bag, but he's in a trick bag. It says the deceived and the deceiver is. Esau is deceiving nations, but he's deceived by the own deception that he thinks that he has that type of control, man. Scripture says that she gonna show you that you're just a man and you're not the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that, all right, if we do it like this, it's gonna make the decision for the next 20 years. This is gonna make this decision for the next 50 years. You working on a timestamp, man.
Yeah.
Esau got these projections of the year 2075. Yo, you're gonna be in slavery by that time, my man. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But that's in his, in his heart of hearts to believe that,
Mm-hmm.
so that he moves in that energy. But that's part of the deception, man.
Yeah.
Continuing on, we could still read a few more, and we probably close after that.
Okay. It says, verse 37, a sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women.
Yeah, and see, Russia has no intentions on retreating out of Ukraine.
No.
They're looking to proceed, and America is going to keep dumping more and more money into Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So this money, all this money, when you're that invested in war, Esau's not just going to keep putting financial aid. He's going to put men on. He's going to start putting men in the region, man. You think he's going to just keep throwing 100 million, 200 million, and then, their population is only so big in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And these individuals, they know they need reinforcements.
Yeah.
They need help to get Russia off their. They pretty much got a bill on their ass.
Yep.
And you trying to give them ammunition and things of that nature, but see, America is trying to hold off from a direct conflict at this said time. But the Lord is even gonna force that hand to the point where you have to lock in, and like I said, as well as Korea, as well as China, all these different nations are gonna come together. They're almost there. They pretty much are together if you really want to be technical.
Yeah.
Or you want to bring something up?
I'm not just the article just going into what you're saying. It says U.S. to deliver more weapons to Ukraine, and this was February 23rd. So like Deacon mentioned, America has no plans of falling back from Ukraine because it's already invested.
Mm-hmm. It's always a hit. Already invested.
It's already invested trillions of dollars into, Ukraine. So you can't. It's no backing out now. Really, the Lord, is forcing, America's hands to be involved, man.
I have a quick little point. I found this on the Ask Questions. It says, what would happen if the U.S. went to war with Russia? A full-scale nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia. This isn't me. This is what the algorithm is saying, and this is what the scriptures is saying.
Mm-hmm.
A full-scale nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia would see global food systems obliterated and over 5 billion people die of hunger. That's the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
What is it? Open access government. Speak about the nuclear catastrophe. That's written in the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
And
it's not far-fetched, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Speaking about the crops, that's all in the book of Revelations. That's why the pastors don't want to touch the book of Revelations. They don't want to tell you the truth about the end times because the end times are doom and gloom.
That's right.
But that's part of the gospel. When all things is gonna take place, there is gonna be salvation at the end of like it says, light at the end of the dark tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
It's still gonna be light at the end of the dark tunnel. That's why it says in Isaiah the 60th chapter, rise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is upon thee. But it speaks about gross darkness covering the people. So in the I'll say, I guess, polarity, but in the midst of both, you're gonna see light. You're gonna see beacons of opportunity to receive salvation. That's what the end is all about. The end only brings about new beginnings.
That's right. 2nd Ezra 6th chapter.
Mm-hmm. But most of these people, they don't want the end of this place. They're caught in this nightmare and they believe it's a dream. And guess what? A lot of people, they're still trying to find the dream in this nightmare. The Lord's going to shut the doors in this place.
Right.
Man. You see? So we'll get a few more on that Jeremiah 50.
Okay, you want me to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
It says, continuing in verse 37, it says a
There's a
sword.
lot of articles, we could probably break it up and probably do something else on a few more. Because articles come out all day, every day on these sites, but it'd be some really good information.
Yeah,
You know?
and it link right up with prophecy.
And it's linking right together.
Yeah. It says, a sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed.
Mm-hmm.
It says, verse 38, a drop.
That's why you have shows or movies that came out like Bushwick. You have, I think, Red Dawn, where it speaks about North Korea, or not speaks about, but on the movies, it'll have the United States being invaded. If there's an invasion here in America, which, you know, it's a possibility, you know, a direct invasion from Korea, you know, or China, that's gonna push that's a whole nother scenario right there.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And see, Esau's all about creating a conflict, because we're already in the midst of conflict. But see, he's trying to keep the people's minds at peace. But then when he has to acknowledge, all right, the world is at war, that's when he wants to, all right, we're going to control the blocks, control the regions. They don't want to put that type of energy out here in America right now because everybody's going to be on edge.
Yeah, it's going to be a frenzy.
It's going to be a frenzy. Everybody already got a damn AR-15 damn near.
Yeah.
You know, America is a fully loaded country, man, when it comes to guns and ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So they don't want to really put that type of energy out there at that said time. They got to do these different... Because Esau does domestic... That's why you have FEMA domestic drills too. You know, Federal Emergency Management Agency. So when things take place, whether it's a sickness or something pertaining to a war, you have management agencies that can, and they break it up. They break it up by regions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know the exact numbers, things of that nature, but nonetheless, it is broken up.
Yeah, there's things like hundreds of different FEMA regions.
Mm-hmm. And they always do in the case of a sickness or in the case of this,
zombie kids and coffins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They already got the investments that go towards that, and they get it a lot of times from the government. You're paying from it.
Yeah,
that's taxpayer money.
Yeah.
So how you don't believe in it, but you're paying for individuals that actually know that it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's getting ready for it to happen. Billions of dollars is going towards these things that a nigga just don't believe in.
Right.
You see? Because they know. The scriptures speak about how basically how these devils know. You know, it says they know if that they have but a short time. Revelation 12 and 12.
Yeah.
So we'll get a few more, you know.
Okay.
We'll close.
Continuing in verse 38, it says, a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up.
Mm-hmm.
For it is the land of graven images.
And America showing that the crops are starting to become more and more contaminated. You spoke about these train derailments. That was another article.
Yeah.
You spoke about 5 train derailments in the next month. Every month is getting more and more catastrophic. Earthquakes.
Yeah. Can't forget about that.
Can't forget about that earthquake.
Yeah.
You know, and multiple earthquakes too.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, keep going.
It says, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. You know, because they're going to realize that the powers that the idols that they worship, you know, is not going to do anything for them, man. You know, because ultimately the Lord set them up. All right, that's why He said He's a jealous power. All right, so the Lord is gave you your idols, and then He made Himself jealous of them just so He can destroy you, man. All right, so verse 39, therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein. Speaking of the aftermath, you know, of here in Babylon, also known as America.
Like that I just read about, it said over 5 billion people dying of hunger. It tells you in the book of Revelations about and the waters were made bitter.
Yeah, made
wormwood.
Bitter. Yeah, wormwood.
Because when a nuclear missile lets off, it sickens the area, man.
Yeah.
You know, a nuclear fallout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where the water supply is tainted, everything is, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
But the Lord said that in the book of Isaiah, you know, that is going to be men that's going to enter into those chambers.
That's right.
You know, and like I said, this devil knows, man. He puts it all throughout television, these different movies.
Oh, the 100. I know we were watching that for a while.
Yep. I was thinking about the Twilight Zone.
Oh, the Twilight Zone.
You were chosen.
Yeah.
Because at the end, the missiles let off. And right there, that's the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
With the sword is being made fat. Excuse me. You know, and it speaks about how America is being prepared for a slaughter. You know, if you have a slaughter, something like you go to a slaughterhouse, you have cows. Depending on the type of slaughterhouse, you have certain livestock. And the whole thing about before the slaughter is fattening that livestock, making it fat, filled up, you know, giving as much slop, giving whatever, if it's a pig or whatever, you know, you're going to give it as much food, you know, and to make it as much or make it as big as it possibly can be so that slaughter could be a great slaughter.
Oh, that's what's that Job? Job 20. About how he's about to fill his belly.
Right, when he's about to fill his belly.
Fill his belly, yep.
Because Esau is trying to get to that point of satisfaction. But the Lord is not going to let you get that. That's why Esau is putting these digital tags all over the place, getting you desensitized with getting tracked. You gotta damn near allow everything on you.
Yeah.
You know?
Location.
At the press of a button, parts of your information are just being compromised by the federal government as you know it, man.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's a little bit more.
I'll finish this verse off. It says, And it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in among from generation to generation. That shows you that this isn't speaking of ancient Babylon, you know, because it's still, you know, it's still being inhabited as of right now.
You got a new generation that just got born today.
Right, as we speak.
As we speaking.
Yeah.
Daughters and sons being born in Babylon to this day now. So what is it talking about? Nuclear missile in America, man.
A nuclear fallout is going to take place where everything is going to be fully destroyed, and there is going to be no, like it says, the city shall not be inhabited. You know, but only wild beasts and satyrs shall dwell there. All right, so you know, we just wanted to go through. It's a little bit more.
That was it.
But yeah, we just wanted to go through a few of those article points and just go through certain points in Jeremiah because it's linking perfectly.
Yeah,
you know,
living it out.
We living it out in real time. You know, so with that, we're gonna end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Makim.
Shalom.